What's going on, people? This your boy DJ A-Ron alongside my man.
Cornbread, what up, baby? How y'all doing out there, man?
Man, we feeling good, dog. Feeling real good right now. A Square Podcast. Y'all already know what it is. You know what? I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna ever say that again. I'm never saying that again. I'm never gonna say y'all already know what it is. I think that I done so many interviews and things over the past that y'all already know what it is like a part of the culture.
And no one knows what it is.
No one ever knows what it is. So I'm not saying that again. So we're going to start over again. It's the A Square Podcast. Your boy DJ A-Ron alongside my homie
Cornbread. How y'all feeling out there, man? What's
Corn
up?
Breezy. What's going on, man? Listen, it's a lot of stuff going on right now. We got the Lakers still have no head coach, but they have a head coach. We have Dolan from the Knicks. He's the owner of the Knicks, but they want him out. The Knicks want him out. We got the NFL draft, and of course, we also have Game of Thrones.
Hey, man, stop that.
Game of Thrones. Also, a cell phone cord coming out of a boot.
Don't do it. Stop it.
We got a lot to get to, man. Let's start with the NBA playoffs, man. The light-skinned brothers are now tied with Houston and the Beard Boys. And Kawhi Leonard is doing his best Michael Jordan imitation. The NBA playoffs are not as bad as I thought they would be without LeBron James. What is your take, Cornbread?
Well, why would you feel that way? Elaborate more, man.
Okay, so in my personal, we all know, LeBron has been there his entire career with the exception of maybe one or two seasons.
Right.
And all eyes are always on, are on LeBron. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who say, well, let's give other people a chance. Tom Brady's always in the championship. We like another team or whatnot. But I feel like that even though he loses a lot, there's always that chance that he could take out that team that everybody knows is going to win.
Who loses a lot? LeBron?
Yeah, he loses a lot. I mean, he gets to the championship. Don't get me wrong.
I'm about to say, what are you talking about?
He gets to the championship.
Yeah,
but if there was another team that was competing against the Warriors, we are less likely to give them a chance than you do when you see LeBron there. You know what I mean? So with KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, there's rumors going around right now where Boogie could be coming back. I mean, yeah, okay, they're 2-2, but we got to be honest here. We're still looking at them to win this series. You know what I mean? Even though it's 2-2, it seems cool, but I still feel like they're going to come out. But when LeBron is around, even when he's with Cleveland, I'm not just saying that because I'm a Laker fan. I'm saying that because LeBron is always there. You know what I mean? So I'm so used to seeing it that me not seeing it right now, I don't think Philly's that good. I really don't. I just don't. You know what I mean? I do like the Bucks and I do like the Raptors, but I feel like it would be so much better if the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron was there right now in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I mean? I just feel like it would just be more interesting. I don't know if the interest is there. Do you feel like the interest is there right now?
I actually do. I'm actually excited to see Kawhi versus the Greek Freak, man. Them two are playing, and if you want to compare them to LeBron, them two are dominating right now.
They are phenomenal players.
They're averaging 30 to 40 points a game.
Yeah,
out there, they're just making everybody look like little boys, man. So that's going to be a great matchup in the East, just having them, going against each other. The West is, like I said, LeBron didn't affect the West until the championship. So I think the West, I really haven't been watching too much of the Nuggets and Trailblazers just because the game's going so late. Tip-off is 10:30, 10:40 p.m. on the East Coast. But I have been watching the Warriors and Rockets, just because of the star power in that. And that's a good series too. And I think actually the Rockets, I don't know, they seemed better last year, but then again, injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
year.
I mean, Chris Paul, you just can't depend on Chris Paul in situations like this because it seems like he's always, something always happens. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that, he's played these 4 games, but, it's always that it's almost like you just got to get ready for Chris to go down. It's unfortunate to say that, but, I can see where you're coming from. I can see the interest being there. You know what I mean? But it's still weird not having LeBron. And I don't know if the networks are suffering without him, but I feel like the eyes aren't on the best player in the world. That affects some type of money. It's got to affect something.
I'm sure it does, but I think it's LeBron was the savior for the teams who bring the biggest markets not making the playoffs. So I think when the Knicks make the playoffs, when the Lakers make the playoffs, when the Celtics make the playoffs,
it's all good.
These teams carry, the NBA,
right?
Especially with just product. So if you don't have the Knicks making the playoffs, you don't have the Lakers making the playoffs, or the Celtics, which they weren't good at the time. LeBron was that void, to boost up the market and just everybody come in and watch them. And then obviously the Warriors came out of nowhere the past couple of years. But, without LeBron and the Lakers not making the Knicks, but now you got new blood, that means more people in Toronto are watching now, or more people, the Celtics, they battle, and I don't know what they're doing over there. Kawhi, not Kawhi, Kyrie, bro, he just looked like he's sleepwalking out there.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with Kyrie. I really like him. I think he's a fantastic player. The thing about Kyrie is with this team, they already had an identity, is my personal opinion. They had an identity. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They had an opportunity. So it's like they already have their identity. Now you bring in someone who missed that time, and he's supposed to be the leader of the team, but things are not necessarily working out. I don't think that this team is meshing with him, and no, I think it's hurting Tatum, and I think it's hurting Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart just getting back, but I think it's hurting the team more than it's helping the team. You know what I mean? And Gordon Hayward, I'm not sure he's ready to be back. I know they want him back. You want the old Gordon Hayward, but I don't think that he's 100% right now, and it's actually showing. Obviously 2 points in the last game. It's like,
and you guys are playing defense against a team who moves that ball, man. They don't have an identity crisis. The Bucks.
Right.
They know they're going to Giannis, and everybody else just stay open.
Yeah, man.
It's just like LeBron situation. They couldn't stop LeBron last year, and that's what the Greek Freak is doing now. Same game plan.
He is an amazing player, man. He's a huge guy, and the guy is bringing the ball up. He can bring the ball up half. You know what I'm saying? Like he can beat a point guard. He's a big guy, man. He can do like anything. And I think they do have, what they need to make it to the to the Eastern Conference Finals. And but what Kawhi is doing, the way he's playing right now, and you can't even just say right now because Kawhi's like he's been this player.
With the Spurs, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like he doesn't have a championship. It's not like he hasn't had a MVP in the championship. He's done this, but I'm saying like his footwork, man, is incredible. I haven't seen footwork like that. Only 2 players really, and that's Jordan and Kobe. And obviously Kobe studied Jordan, and I know he's worked with Kawhi over the summers, but like his footwork is incredible. That move that he put on dude last night and then just went to the cup and dunked. I was like, that like really reminded me, the footwork reminded me of Jordan. Mm-hmm. And he really is an incredible player, man. He may be funny as far as that laugh goes.
well, I'm gonna call it, and then we have to wager something, man. So,
all right.
We got the I got the Raptors winning, and I got the Bucks winning. So it's gonna be the Bucks versus Raptors in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
Who's gonna say more words, Kawhi or the Greek Freak?
Oh man, I'm gonna take the
The
Greek.
whole final, the whole Eastern final. Who's gonna say more words?
I'm gonna take it Greek. I'll
You're
take
gonna
it
take
Greek.
Greek.
I'll
All right.
take it Greek. Kawhi's gonna be yes and no, and that's it. So I'm gonna take that
You
Western
might just give them
Conference.
head nods. You might
Hey,
just give them head.
you wrote a peace sign. That might be all you got.
Jesus, God.
Western. So obviously, right now you're looking at Houston and the Warriors, but who do you got coming out of that? Are you taking an upset?
So last year I actually had the Rockets, and then they screwed the pooch. They messed it up, man. So I don't
20,
know, man.
27 missed. What was it? 27 missed threes.
27 missed threes. I've never seen some shit like that. Never. Like, stop shooting. Just hold the ball and just get shot clock violations. You had a better chance of winning. Like, that's the problem I had with the. I know I'm in Atlanta. I'm here from the Atlanta fans. That's the problem I had in the Patriots versus Falcons in the
Oh man,
Super Bowl. Just run the ball.
no,
Stop throwing.
no, you got to get a ball to Matty Ice.
I don't understand it. Right now, man, the Nuggets are up 3-2. I mean, I really don't care about that. I think the Trailblazers would have more, pub coming in, but the Nuggets look like they might pull that off. I'm gonna go with the upset, man. I'm gonna go with the Rockets, man. Just to
Really?
see something new. Just to see something new. I don't know what Klay Thompson is doing out there. I know he's probably
All
counting his
right.
check.
So let's talk about that real quick. This goes back to a conversation I had with our buddy TK, who saying he loved Clay. He's a two-way player, this, that, and the third, and whatever. And I've been having these conversations with him, and I've been having these conversations with a couple of other friends. And here's my beef with that. I say that Klay Thompson is not a max player. I think he's gonna get paid. I think he should be paid. Of course, but max dollars, I don't think so, because we've seen him fall completely off. This is not the first time he's gone on a where we don't see him. Before KD got there, he had a lot of games during the season, stretches like at the beginning of the season where he just wasn't making anything. And that's what happens when you live and die by the three. Although he can get to the cup, he does settle quite a bit for the three. And when he's
I don't
off,
even think he can get to the cup, man. He dribbles like 7 times a game. I don't even think he can get to the cup.
I mean, Clay's just he's a great player, man. I really like the guy. He's too up and down for me. You know what I mean? And in games where you getting 6 or 7 points, and I got to look at you. You know what I mean? I don't care who's on the team.
I think his identity is so, like, let's say his identity was like Trevor Ariza, where he was a defender who can make threes, or like a Ori, or like a Dudley or Shane Battier.
Okay.
I think, or like even like Meta World Peace. I think if he was known for a defender who could make threes, his brand would be a lot better than, hey, you could put up 40 points. What, he put like 9 threes in a quarter or something like that?
Like he can hit 9 threes in a quarter.
So I think they branded him as a top elite scorer, which he's not. He just can do that.
Do you think is it starting to appear that he's frustrated with being number 3 now?
Well, that, and you got to think, man, he has to guard James Harden. Shit, I mean, he's one of the toughest defense. So that's going to take a lot of energy out you. So if the game plan was, hey, Klay, we don't even need you to score, just stop him, I think he would be like, all right, cool. But he has to guard him, and then he still feels like he's the third person. So now I still got to put up my 20 points, you know, and it's not happening. And then you naturally just going to be frustrated.
So then is is Steph Curry done doing the shimmy and all that stuff in the playoffs? Is he
I don't know.
Is he done with all that?
Why is he doing that though?
Hey man, you know what? I've always liked Steph Curry. I just felt like my only beef with him is the arrogance, like the dancing and the antics and stuff like that. He doesn't have the the killer instinct, like I'm just going to kill you and I'm gonna just eat you alive. He wants to dance, he wants to shimmy, he wants to do antics, and uh, it doesn't look good in the playoffs, man. It looks good in the season when you're all having fun and you guys are all loving each other, but when the game slows down in the playoffs, all the antics has to be out of the window. And I think he's won so much now and been known as the best. I think that he just carries that over into the playoffs. And it looks bad, man. It just, I mean, he didn't even, it looks like he just thought he was going to windmill or something the other day. You know what I mean? But that's not the first time that he's done that. Let's not act like he's not, you know what I mean? Like he's done that. He's missed layups. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, man. But you taking the upset, I'm a keep it the same, man. I'm gonna keep the same energy. The Warriors are coming out, and I just don't think that anybody can. I just don't think that anybody can beat them. I think they would have to beat themselves. So I got them doing the whole thing. But if anybody can do it, I would seriously say that. Although I love Kawhi and I would want him in the finals, I think the support that Milwaukee gives the Greek Freak is more consistent than what the Raptors give Kawhi Leonard, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So I'll take the Bucks, and you know I would say that they could definitely challenge. So man, that's the NBA, you know, and what's going on with that. So we'll see, man. We'll see what's going on. But you know, you're a big Colt fan, and I love the Colts. You know, I don't necessarily have a favorite team per se, but you know, obviously going to Colts games is extremely a good time. I can tell you that much, man. The draft just happened. And I want to ask you a couple of questions. First question I want to ask you about is Bosa. You've heard the things that he said online.
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa. Yeah. So you've heard the things that he said online. You know, we've read it. We've heard his teammates talk. I want to ask you, him getting drafted to San Francisco and Kaepernick being exiled from the NFL for the things that he stood for.
San Francisco.
What's that?
From San Francisco.
From San Francisco. Yeah, right. So I'm asking you, like, how do you feel about all this stuff? And as a former, you know, college player, you know, and the love for football that you have, how do you go in the locker room with somebody like that?
Well, you always want your locker room to be on one accord, you know, one mission basically. And that mission 10 times out of 10 times is winning. But you also have subgroups of people who it's not really politics. I mean, in college, I really didn't, you know, touch too much on politics because we're younger kids.
Right.
You know, we're 18 to 22 compared to these are grown ass men right now. You know what I'm saying? With 3-4 kids, 3 or 4 baby mamas, you know what I'm saying? They got other stuff they're worried about. So politics, it might be at least more prevalent in the NFL locker room. But I think if you're winning and he's playing good, they'll shoot under what he's saying under the rug, even if they don't agree with it.
So it's when you're losing.
I think it's when you're losing or you're not producing. Yeah, or you're just not producing and you're just talking. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a little different.
Well, here's my beef with it. You know, the tweets that I read weren't really that. To me, I don't think they were racist tweets. You know what I mean? Right. I don't think they're racist tweets. I think they were more trolling. You know, saying if like saying Beyonce is trash, right? I feel like that's trolling. You know, you could keep your opinion to yourself on, you know what I'm saying, on that. Nobody asked you how you feel about Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? It's not a personal question. Nobody asked him how he felt about Black Panther. He just came out and said the whole thing is trash. You know what I mean? I think it's more of him trolling. I'm more interested in the locker room situation. You know what I mean? Like, how is he with his teammates? And
well, I mean, sometimes you got to understand the culture of where you're going. So let's say the quarterback agrees with you. Let's say the head coach agrees with you, and let's say the owner and management agree with you. Then how is he wrong?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's going to be told that he's doing the right stuff.
Right.
So I think all that plays in part of it.
It's just really interesting how all that aligned. A player speaking out on social issues and saying things like that, and being kicked out being kicked out of the league essentially, and playing for this team and going to the Super Bowl, and then the next go round you draft a guy who is doing his freedom of speech just like the other guy was. But the talent is so great, supposedly, because we never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know when you get in there with the big boys. But now, this team of all teams draft this guy who has this aura around him, and this all these people talking about him and the things that he's saying. I just think it's really interesting on that part.
And even to take it a step further, President Trump tweeted, saying congratulations to Nick Bosa. But number one, he wasn't drafted first. And it was 32 other people drafted, or 31 other people drafted.
So he could have said the class, but he said this guy.
He said specifically Nick Bosa because he was the one who stuck up against Kaepernick.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it worse, man.
Exactly. It definitely does, man. And but when it comes to politics, hey man, it's who you like. I don't bash others, you know what I'm saying, for who they vote for or whatever the case may be. But, it's sometimes when it comes to Trump, it's like he does things that he knows that will get, people riled up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He literally could have said congratulations to the draft class. Right. But why would he do that? He's going to point out the one person. He's going to point out, Tom Brady. He's going to point out certain individuals, man. But the Colts, have been trash in the draft, and I think we both can say that for the most part.
Somewhat.
I mean, look, the Colts. The Colts need defense, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting better, but
later in that. So I think that's what they tried to accomplish this year. So I don't know. Do you watch the draft?
So I'll be honest with you. I don't watch it like how I used to. I'm more of an alert guy. So I got the alerts on my phone. I'm on my Bleacher Report. I'm watching who gets picked up. But also, I'm not huge into college sports. So a lot of these players that be coming out, if they're not the top 5, 10 players, I don't know all the guys. So the 4th round people and the 5th round people who end up being some of the best football players to play the game, I would never know those guys.
Right. Well, I'm a person who watches definitely the first round. So if you don't know, to our listeners out there, number one, this is the A Square podcast that you're listening to. And we're talking about the NFL draft right now. Each team gets 10 minutes, or each pick, basically, because certain teams have multiple picks. So each pick is 10 minutes. So the Colts made the playoffs last year and beat the Houston Texans in the first round. So the more wins that you have in the regular season, the higher your pick is. So the Colts had the 26th pick, so I'm watching it from the first pick, who are the Cardinals.
Right.
So that's 10 minutes each team, 25 teams. I'm sitting there 10 minutes. So I'm like, all right, let me watch this Colts pick before I go to bed, because it really didn't matter after that. They picked, or it's the Colts pick. I'm like, bet, let's see who we get, because I know definitely we need defense, but we need a receiver too to help out T.Y. Hilton and Andrew Luck to pass to. Next thing I see is trade alert. Washington Redskins take the Colts 26th pick, bro. I want demon. Man, I was cussing him out that whole day, man. I was like, I stayed up for an extra 2.5 hours just to see the trade, the trade.
Right.
But they end up getting I think another second round pick, and future the next year second round pick from the Redskins. So we They was willing and dealing. So long story short, man, the next day was the second round. We end up having 3 picks in the second round. So we picked Yasin, who was a cornerback from Temple. He's pretty solid. I think he was ranked the 3rd or 2nd cornerback coming out of the draft. So we picked him up. So I was like, all right, well, our next pick should be a receiver because it's only a few more out there that I want. Nope, that's not us. We go with a linebacker. Banogu, I hope I'm saying his name right, but he was a linebacker. I'm like, all right, well, we got one more pick. And we finally got a receiver, Campbell from Ohio State.
Yeah. Now I am familiar with him.
Yeah. He's pretty solid, man. I think he was ranked number 4 running receiver. So we ended up closing out the second round with 2 defensive player and a receiver that we needed. So
right.
I was pretty happy on that. So like I said, I think we putting the pieces together, man. We have to start over, but we can build on it for last year.
So during the season, I had made a bet with somebody and lost. I bet that Le'Veon Bell would sign with the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that because for number one, I was just thinking where is the best place for him to land outside of where he is? One, that he could strive and still be great and not have to, worry about he was playing with an elite quarterback. So when you go from playing with an elite quarterback to, someone who's not elite, that's going to make a huge difference. So I thought in my head that he would go to a team that is in desperate need of a back and has an elite quarterback, which I consider Luck elite. That's me. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. And I thought that would have been a perfect fit for him. I understand that it didn't work out, but man, would that have been on point if it had it would have been the same, you know what I mean? It would have been the same situation.
When did you make this bet? What part of the season?
I made this bet probably around the 5th. No, I take that back. I was thinking that he was going to come back. So I think I made this bet right around week 9 because after week 8, that was when he couldn't come back. And I was thinking, because I know he made a tweet as well.
Right. Yeah. So
and
I think
that's
when
the
eyes or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So that makes sense on why you felt that way. So I felt the same way, but around week 12 and on to the playoffs, I felt different. So Hines and Mack, who are the 2 running backs now, they showed up and showed out. So as an organization, you say, okay, well, we got 2 young running backs who are balling out, and we have the most cap space. Why would we go get Bell when we can see what else is out there in the free agency? And this was before Antonio Brown was available. So that's as a Colts fan, I was figuring, okay, well, we got 2 at least solid running backs. We can go get Antonio Brown, which will help out Luck and T.Y. Hilton, in my eyes. And they obviously didn't get neither one of them, but
right.
My thoughts changed after, later in the season on picking Bell.
I can see that. So this A Square podcast, your boy DJ Aaron, homie Cornbread in the building. I am not saying you already know what it is.
No one knows what it is, though.
No one never knows what it is. If you guys missed it, this is just the A Square review right here. And last week we touched on the Avengers, which was amazing, man. So you guys will be able to go back and listen to that review as well. We encourage that you do so. And the first episode of the A Square podcast will be in June. We are very excited for that, man. So make sure you guys hit us up and let us know your thoughts. Hit us up in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts of the reviews, because we definitely want to hear from you guys. I just want to talk briefly about this, man, because I had a conversation the other day. We can keep it brief. But who won in the Le'Veon scheme? Who won? Did Pittsburgh, win? We have to really look at the details. But did Pittsburgh win, or did Le'Veon win? Or in my opinion, did Le'Veon actually lose in the deal?
I think it goes back to, we have to wait to see this season and see who wins. I mean, that's the ultimate, because it's not really about money anymore. They all making millions of dollars, and you talking about he lost. And hey, I want to play that game, man. Whatever game is that where the loser gets tens of millions of dollars, I'm trying to get in that game.
Okay.
So I think it comes down to productivity, you know. So if the Steelers outperform and they actually play the Jets this year, they outperform them, beat them, and let's say make the playoffs, and that's a good choice because they do have a receiver who in Connor, and they paying him I think ramen noodles and like two Amazon gift card.
Hey,
They
we've
pay
seen
Connor,
we've seen people get less. I can tell
yeah,
you that much.
yeah, they pay Connor and Amazon gift cards. Like it's crazy, bro. But he was
Okay,
balling out last
so here's the reason why I ask you that. So Le'Veon held out because he wanted a better deal. This
year.
was
Right.
not a situation where Antonio Brown wanted out.
Yeah, he wanted traded. Yeah, he
He
wanted
wanted
out.
out. Le'Veon wanted a deal.
Right,
Don't franchise me,
right,
right? So
right.
here's what I found out about this. I had to do a little bit more research because I was in total like I'm all in on Le'Veon and wanting this deal, right? After I did the research, Le'Veon actually turned down a massive deal for I would say, all right, $70 million he turned down, which is why he got the franchise, which is
Right.
why that was going to happen. So, from my understanding, in this deal that he got with the Jets, the deal is worth $52 million, and I don't know the guarantee of it, but I'm saying the difference between 70 million and 52 million. You know what I mean? I would say he lost. And actually, what I'm looking at here is he lost in the guarantee as well. So, did it come to a point where he was just like, I don't even care about the Steelers no more? And
Yes, some relationships sometimes can't be, mended. Some people leave jobs all the time, not for money.
absolutely.
They could just not like their boss, their co-workers, obviously traveling or whatever it is, and they might take a pay cut to go
So
somewhere else to be happy.
that's what I was saying. So I would say if Le'Veon was about the money, then he lost.
Right,
Taking this deal, having
right,
the injuries that he's had, and now playing with an organization that's fairly young, and he's going to obviously be the focus point of the offense, 100%. You know what I mean? And a quarterback who is not Ben. Or is not luck, you know what I mean? So we have yet to see, but I'll say if it's about the money, he took a L. If it was just business purposes and he was like, I just want out, then obviously both wins because with the Steelers, they're not paying this guy much and he's still producing, and like you said.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
A Squared Podcast, Game of Thrones.
Hold on, before we touch on that, man, I definitely want to, congratulate you on getting another, LLC, man.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
no doubt.
black-owned business. I think no matter how big or small the wins, I think we need to start congratulating each other on those wins, man. So good job
Absolutely,
on
man.
that, man.
Hey,
Eat.
we got to keep eating, man. Starting this show, starting the radio station, man, and then doing this show. I think, like you said, man, it's important for us to big each other up, man, and that's why this podcast is going to be great because we're not just here to talk sports. We're doing movie reviews. What did we do last
Right.
week? We talked about the battle. Cassidy. We got people coming on here talking about science. We got like this is
Yeah.
gonna be great, man.
We got a lot of great things for the listeners coming up, man. We got some good plans for them. So just stay tuned.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Stay tuned.
definitely.
And I'm gonna work on my levels too, man. I know if y'all hear it out there and I ain't as clear as I need to be, I got some technical difficulties over here. So
Oh my God.
extra crispy. I'm gonna whisper in your ear. So don't worry about
That's what happens. That's what happens when people use Androids, bro. You just
got
got to switch it all over to iPhone and you'll be good, bro.
it. I got y'all, man.
Game of Thrones. I can tell you right now, I have watched 3 episodes of Game of Thrones. That is it. So I have not been a Game of
Well,
Thrones.
which
guy.
3 though? So
Hey.
those are important.
The first Game of Thrones season is what I'm saying.
All right. All right. I need a new partner then. Somebody else.
Listen, it's not bad. I'll tell you like this. what I expected is not what I got out the first few episodes. The only reason why I haven't watched it is because this season has been built up so big, and that's what made me want to go back and watch it, right? So I've been traveling, so I haven't had a chance to catch up. I'm going to watch it. I guess I'm going to watch it. I just thought that all I was going to see was dragons and vampires. I don't know what I expected. You know what I mean? Like, I expected all that type of stuff, but through the first episodes, I understand that that's not what it is, and I understand that it's a lot different than what I thought. So, let's talk about it, man. We shouldn't be doing any spoilers at this point, right?
Oh man, because like you said last week, man, if they ain't watched the episodes by now, then hey, they ain't real fans.
Exactly.
So episode 3 of season 8 was deemed as like the longest fight battle in cinematic history, and it was a great battle. But they say episode 5, which is this Sunday on Mother's Day, is supposed to be bigger than that fight, and very pivotal.
Man, you skipping over everything that's important, bro. Let's get to the facts. Let's get to the facts, bro. Give me the information on the episode that was so dark people couldn't even see what was going on.
Low key, it was very dark. It was so. Half of it was a good dark, though. I mean, it's supposed to it set the mood of, man, you having a war in the dark, and then these are the undead, so it's like they give you more of that scary feel. But it was dark when the dragons were fighting each other, though. You could barely see it. But they the haters gonna hate, bro.
No, these are your people, bro, that are complaining about this.
These my people. Okay, these my people. $15 million, I think, per episode, man. So they spending bread on these episodes, man. But go ahead and get to 15, what you want to talk about, man.
You said how much per episode did you just say?
15 of them things.
So 15 million?
Bro, get to what you got to get to, bro.
$15 million, and you have a charger hanging out of your boot. An iPhone charger hanging out of your boot.
Hey man, shit, they need to charge up their phones too.
Okay. All right. Let me get to the next one though. So you got the iPhone hanging out of your boot. You got a sword that's wobbly in the wind. All right, well, that's 2. And then you have a Starbucks coffee cup at the table, bro.
Yeah, man.
You got some explaining to do. Like, somebody has some serious explaining to do.
Hey, they forward thinkers, bro.
I didn't know.
They knew they was going to invest in Starbucks 100 or 200 years before it opened up, bro. That's smart investment to me. That's what I call it.
So what's the lady's name that is in control of the dragon?
Who, the dragon lady?
Okay, is that what she's called?
Nah, Daenerys, bro.
All right.
Daenerys.
Okay. All right. So you would say she's one of the biggest characters, right?
Daenerys, yeah. It's about 5 big characters, yeah. So she's one of those 5.
She's one of them. Yeah. Okay. Tonio, $15 million an episode. Somebody's got some explaining to do and why this stuff happened in the last season of the biggest show ever. Let them tell it.
Man, players mess up. I'm sure somebody can get fired after that.
How you gonna get fired if this is the last season?
Hey man, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, but
which leads me back and makes me not feel as bad for black films when I go back and I try so hard to watch black films black independent films on Netflix, and I laugh every time because every time they're standing outside, you hear nothing but the wind. So you hear them talking a little bit, but the wind is always there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking like, man, I'm going to turn this off. I turn it off every time because I try to give black films so much. I try, bro, literally a few a week. I try to. I stop them about 10 minutes in, but I try to give them that view, though. I try to. But they ain't getting nowhere 15. They ain't even getting $1 million to shoot the movie. And
That's
these
true.
people are getting 15 million an episode.
That's true.
So,
But just believe, man. This episode coming up, Cersei the Beast.
so you
Get
believe?
ready.
So you still got faith?
Yeah, what? Absolutely, bro. It's
And
only 2 more episodes
they're
left anyway.
and they're saying that this is going to be like the best ever, like
Yeah.
the best ever. Next 2 episodes are supposed to be like
Yeah,
the best ever.
Yep. So obviously, episode 3. If you haven't watched that, that was a great episode, which the dark episode that we talked about. And then episode 5. It's only 6 episodes in this season because it's the last one, and they're past the book, so they were just freestyling the last season. But they're coming to a close. I really don't think if you're watching the last season, season 8. I mean, you really don't need to know what's going on. Just watch it for entertainment. But if you want to get into, all the players and the pieces moving and stuff like that, then definitely I would recommend going to see the other 7 seasons.
Okay.
But it's good, man.
But so far, your review is that this is really good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I think the series as a whole is great. And then a lot of the answers or a lot of the questions are being answered now. Some of them, you don't, but that's just because of the runtime. They can't answer everything. Because like I said, they were freestyling the last season. And then just the fight scenes that you're going to get, it's good. People going to be dying. If you want to see people dying, go ahead and turn it on this Sunday.
This is the hardest thing I think it is to do in show business, and that's have closing, right?
Right. Absolutely.
When a comedian says, "This is my last stand-up," when a basketball player says, "This is my last go-round," when Avengers say this is the last Avengers, when Sopranos said this is the last, Sopranos, it's so hard to end something that's been great, right?
I think it's hard to end because people don't usually get this is the last one. They get the call of, hey, you've been fired or we've been canceled. So I mean, when you have like Fresh Prince having a season finale, or you have The Wire, or just other stuff like that, it's not the best, but at least you have that closure. Some places they just, you know what I'm saying? Like I watch Vikings. Vikings got canceled. I'm like, damn, bro. So now you really got questions.
I never even seen The Wire.
All right. This Day Square podcast. I'm gonna holler at y'all, man.
Come on,
And
listen.
reach me at Cornbread1016 on IG.
No, bro, no.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Okay, it wasn't by it's been, everybody says like how great it was, right? So it's another one of those shows where I watched the first like 3 episodes and then I got tied up into other things and I never got back to it. So, but everybody always clowns me for never seeing The Wire, but I watched all of Power. And they're like, if you like Power, you would love The Wire. You know what I mean? Like, it's always like that. I ain't never seen it. But I'll tell you something else that I never seen. I just watched the first one the other day. And y'all used to watch this all the time. You, Kyle, all y'all used to watch this. Blade. I had never seen Blade. Every time, don't laugh.
What's wrong with you, bro?
So every time I seen Blade, it was like halfway through the movie, or like towards the end of maybe not even the first one, but it could have been the second one because that's all Kyle ever watched was Blade. That's all he ever watched. So,
well, who's Kyle? Who's Kyle, man?
For those of you who don't know, we often talk about we reminisce a lot, and that's what this podcast is going to be a lot about. It's going to be a lot of reminisce on old times and everything. And Kyle is one of our best friends. He's probably the goofiest one out of all of us. He always owes when we go on vacations. And he always wears the biggest clothes that he can find in the hottest weather when we go places. That's who Kyle is.
We gotta have him on the show to speak his piece. We gotta let him speak his piece and defend himself, man.
Absolutely. And we definitely gonna do that. But that's who Kyle is. Last week we talked about Nate. This is Kyle. So I never watched Blade. I watched the first one the other day, man. I thought it was great. So I'm gonna watch the second one now. I'm gonna try to watch these so-called great things that I never seen, but at least I'm not here to tell you I never seen Lion King.
Yeah.
I've seen the Lion King.
And definitely, like I said, each episode we're gonna try to tackle different things, especially like financial advice.
Definitely.
movie reviews. So one of the things I'm gonna do in my movie review is talk about, the poppin', hot movie that's out there. But I'm also gonna give you a segment where I'm gonna call it the forgotten. And there's movies that's been, out there. It could have been 20 years ago or it could have been last year. But people, I think it's a good movie to go back and watch. It fell under the radar. So I'm gonna call it the forgotten. So just pay attention to that, and then go watch those movies that I'm gonna point out to y'all. So don't worry, I got you.
Man. So next week, we're gonna be doing that. We'll be talking about some upcoming movies because there's a lot. So before we get out of here, Tonio, why don't you give us one movie to look forward to? I think I know your answer because we just saw a trailer to it, and I'm assuming that you should have seen it if you haven't.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We might be talking about two different things then, because I'm going off of John Wick 3's coming up, man. So that's coming up next week.
Yeah, I ain't never seen that.
Yeah, see that. All right. Yeah, all right. So tell me what you talking about, because I don't know what you talking about.
Spider-Man.
You know what I'm talking about?
Spider-Man. Hey.
Spider-Man's coming out in 7 more months, and you're talking about Spider-Man right now. Bro, he just got back alive. What are you talking? Oh, my God.
Hey, man, we got to save the world, baby.
Spider-Man just woke up, bro. Talking about, let's go save Tony Stark.
Hey,
and you're already excited about his movie.
It's a whole universe out there, man. You never know, man. Tony could still be floating.
Oh, man. I'm gonna talk about some recent movies coming up. You got John Wick 3 about to drop. He's about to be fighting people on horses with swords. Some real unrealistic stuff, man. But we're gonna talk about it, man.
All right, man. Let me think. What else is coming? John Wick 3. Okay, I did see the trailer for that. I don't think it's anything else. Dark Phoenix. I'm Marvel, bro.
Phoenix.
So
Dark
Phoenix.
Absolutely.
I know that's not as quick as John Wick. Actually, it is, isn't it? When does Dark Phoenix come out? And I think,
weeks. But yeah, next time we discuss it, I'll shoot out some dates for some movies coming out, and what I'm expecting. Then I'll obviously review them for y'all. So
absolutely, man. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. It's the A Square review. You guys make sure that you guys comment make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and comment. Let us know your thoughts on the review and everything that we talked about today. Next week we come back with movies. And we got a lot more, man. It's so much going on. We'll talk more about the playoffs and everything, man. And don't forget, the first episode of the A Square podcast happening in June. We'll definitely be letting you guys know about that. So you guys keep it locked, man. It's your boy DJ A-Ron alongside my buddy, my friend.
Hey, man, it's Cornbread out here. And please give us constructive criticism. If you start talking crazy, I will roast you. So don't worry about that.
And you ain't got to worry about that because he coming for it.
Yeah, I'm ready. I love it.
A Square podcast, man. We out of here, y'all. Peace.
I'll let y'all, man.